The Spanish Inquisition and Portuguese Inquisition. The history and legacy of the Roman Catholic Church's most infamous institutions. Written by Charles River editors. Narrated by Ken Teutsch.
The First Inquisitions. When you hear any layman speak ill of the Christian faith, defend it not with words, but by the sword, which you should thrust into their belly as far as it will go. Pope Gregory IX. Religious discrimination, though not completely extinguished today, is something many find intolerable. Yet there was once a time when it was sanctioned by the highest of authorities. The persecution of those who did not adhere to the government's religious beliefs was not only once thought of as commonplace, it was regarded as civic duty. Some of the earliest persecution associated with Christianity harks back to 64 CE in Rome. That year, a terrible fire wreaked havoc in Rome for about a week, consuming over 75% of the city. Not long after, a plush palace was erected at the burned site. The infuriated people accused Emperor Nero of being the arsonist, and they believed he had set the city aflame for his own merriment. Hearing the people's enraged cries, Nero diverted the blame to the Christians, blaming them for the fire, and ordering them to be rounded up and executed. Hundreds of Christians were barbarically killed, with some burned alive and others ripped apart by flesh-hungry dogs. Over the next few centuries, Christians in Rome were occasionally persecuted. Pagan Romans criticized the Christians for refusing to kowtow to Roman gods and took offense to the Christians' resistance in offering gifts and sacrifices to the Roman emperor, who was viewed as a semi-divine being himself. Additionally, ignorant of their customs, authorities, perhaps misconstruing the rites of the Eucharist and the Christian agape, accused them of partaking in incest and cannibalism. Persecution in those days was not limited only to Christians. The Roman Senate also condemned cults of Roman and Greek divisions, including the Bacchus and Magna Mater followers. Bacchanalians were targeted for their rowdiness and penchant for violence, whereas the latter was served by self-castrating priests who encouraged outlandish music and dancing. These cults were stigmatized for being uncouth and un-Roman. As the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. However, the 4th century saw a major shift in power. In 312 CE, Emperor Constantine I became the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. Constantine called for an end to Christian persecution, and Catholicism soon became the dominating religion.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?